You should transfer your answers while doing any kind of practice. Always transfer your answer whenever you are just doing practice. Immediately after completing reading passage 1, always transfer first reading passage and then second and then third also. And if you do this kind of mistake, like A is not clearly given, then your answer will be considered wrong. Okay, here it is also overwriting is there. This is also wrong answer. So you should take care of these things. This is also and this is spelling mistake. You can see this will also consider it wrong answer. So you can see I know the answers clearly, but how I have written it in a hurry. So these also are your wrong answers, will be considered as wrong answers. So yes, these mistakes we are doing it while attempting reading test papers. Hello everyone, I am Monica from IELTS 9. So as you can see, the title of the reading passage is Urban Farming, and of course from this 18 number book, that is test number 1. Let's do this reading fastly. I'm not going to read any word from here. I'm straight away going to types of question, and of course I will start from the first type of question. Now here you can see first type of question. We have 1, 2, 3. Complete the sentences below, no more than 2 words, and read the instructions carefully. And or a number is given. It means what? It means we can use one number, definitely will come. Number means figure kind of thing, definitely will come in any answer. Okay, next type of question you can see complete the table below. You can see the table here. And third type of question we have true, false, not given. Let's start with first type of question. Complete the sentences, no more than 2 words and a number. So urban farming in Paris, this is the title. Complete the sentences means there is a difference between complete the summary, complete the notes, complete the table, complete the sentences. Means from anywhere of the from the passage, writer can produce the sentences over here. It is not in summary, it is not in 1 paragraph or 2 paragraph. So vertical tubes are used to grow strawberries, dash, and herbs. So my important keyword to find the location is vertical tubes, strawberries and herbs also. So here comes the first paragraph. So I'm going to look for okay. So I was looking for strawberries, vertical tubes and herbs. Let's find the keyword only first, then I will start reading it. Otherwise it will be wastage. So vertical tubes also I can find. Herbs is also there. So strawberries that are small, intensively flavored and red. Okay, peer inside. You see the tubes are completely hollow. The roots of dozens of strawberry plants dangling down inside them from identical vertical tubes nearby burst row upon row of lettuces and near those aromatic herbs. So herbs is there, strawberry is also there, vertical tube is also there. So answer must be here only. So let's read the statement again. So urban vertical tubes are used to grow strawberries, dash and dash. So what is that? Herbs. So strawberry, herbs, it means lettuces will come. So in your answer sheet, please write everything in capital letter. So there will be eventually for a daily harvest of as much as dash in weight of fruit and vegetables. So daily harvest of as much as more and more in weight of fruits and vegetables. So weight of fruits and vegetables and daily word I will be looking for. So this first paragraph we have done. They have given so many names. So I was looking for daily weight also. Exhibition hall, square size of the couple of football pitches. Young urban farmers who tend to have picked in one day 3,000 lettuces, 150 strawberries, while the remaining 2/3 of the vast open area in production. 20 staff will be harvest 1000 kg. Kg means weight of perhaps 35 different varieties of fruits and vegetables every day. So this is the location for us. Daily harvest they are talking about, and 20 staff as while the remaining 2/3 of the vast open area in production up to weight of fruits and vegetables. So it means we will be using this 1000 kg. So this satisfy the condition of, you can see this satisfy the condition of words and a number. So 1000 kg. Okay, now third one. It may be possible that the farms produced will account for as much 10% of the city's overall farm produce will account 10% of the city mall. So this is the word. It will take this word will take us to the location cities overall. Okay, let's read the next paragraph also. You can see my full paragraph. So here I can see the percentage. Let's read it from here, because first question we have found this location, first and second question. Okay, but unused space can be developed like this. There is no reason why you shouldn't eventually target maybe between 5 to 10% of consumption. So are they talking about unused space in urban environment, means cities? You are working with very significant practical constraint. Clearly what you can do, if unused space can be developed, there is no reason why shouldn't eventually target maybe between 5 to 10% of consumption. So consumption, you can see, it may be possible that firms produce will account for as much 10% of the city's consumption overall. Can we write? Because they were talking about city, urban environment, urban, they were, whole city is also there. You can see this, going to feed cautious, whole city this way. So if you read it from here to here, you will get the clue and you will select this answer. Now coming to next type of question, we have choose complete the table and one word only. No condition is there, figure, number or word, only one word only, no numerical figures are there. So first you have to go table like this, like this, like this, then you come to this. So fourth is here, fifth is here, sixth is here. So intensive farming, wide range of, it is important, techniques pollute air, quality not good, varieties of foods and vegetables chosen that can survive long. Okay, now coming to the location, fourth number, wide range of intensive farms we are looking for. So this paragraph we have done. Now I am looking for the word intensive farms. Okay, flourishing under agriculture consultancy, which is currently fielding inquiring from the build and equip a new breed of soil free inner city farm. The method's advantage are many, he says. First, I don't much like the fact that most of the fruits we eat have been treated with something like 17 different pesticides, or that intensive farming techniques that we were looking that produce them are such huge generators of greenhouse, means pollute the air. So if we read the sentence properly, then we will come to know they are using different pesticides, means wide range of pesticides, and pollute the this technique, yes, this is given, produce the pollute the air with the help of greenhouse. Okay, greenhouse gas, generators of greenhouse. Exact story we have found, intensive farming, wide range of, they are using pesticides, techniques pollute air. So now coming to quality not good, varieties of fruits chosen that survive long word, and quality not good, let's find it. So this full page we have done. Let's move on to next page. So next page saying gases that we have done. I don't much like the fact either they have traveled on average 2000 refrigerated kilometers to my plate, then their quality is so poor, means not quality. We are going at the right direction because the varieties are selected for their capacity to withstand their substantial journeys, means long journeys. So we will write the answer journeys, or 80% of the price. Okay, let's fill in the blanks. So we have got this also, quality is not so good, it was written, and chosen that can survive long journeys. So it was given substantial journeys, it was given. Now sixth number is dash receive very little overall income, So you can see, or that 80% of the price I pay goes to wholesalers and transport companies, not the producer. It means producer is not getting enough money, producers are getting less income as compared to transport and wholesalers. So answer will be producers. So producers I have put. Now coming to seventh, aeroponic urban farming, no soil used. Okay, this is also again keyword, nutrients is the keyword, which added to water, which is recycled. Produce chosen because of its dash. So no soil, nutrients, produce chosen because of its. Now we were looking for nutrients is there, soil free means no soil, On the other hand, which relies solely on a small quantity of water enriched with organic nutrients pumped around a closed circuits of pipe, towers and trays, is produced up here and sold locally just down there. It barely travels at all. Okay, you can select crop varieties for their select means chosen crop varieties for their flavor of its flavor that was given. Flavor we will write over there. So I'm writing it flavor. Okay, so you can write another spelling also. This is also in trend. So but whatever is given in the question statement in the passage, you use that spelling only. Now coming to my last type of question, that is true false not given. Urban farmings can take place above or below ground. So we need to find whether this urban farming can take place above or below the ground. That is more important to find. If you get the same both the things, then true. If you get that urban farming can take place only below the ground, that false will be there. If they are not talking where urban farming can take place, whether on the soil or under the soil, then not given will be there. So we have gone through this paragraph. No, we can just okay it we can just follow it above or below, not before. Soil is exhausted and water that gently showers the plant's roots every 12 minutes is recycled. So the method uses 90% less water than a classic intensive farm for the same yield. Showers the plant, resistance to the transport chain, they can pick. Okay, just down there sold. Okay, resistance to the transport and storage chain, you can pick whenever they are really. Okay, water greatly less than a classic intensive, it means for the same yield. It means what they are saying it has this urban farming on soil free, it has more advantages because they are saying roots every 12 minutes is recycled. So the method uses 90% less water than a classic intensive means traditional farm for the same yield. It means thus yield the crop can be produced above or soil. So we will just put this aeroponic farming. Okay, we can just put here because if you do not go to the location, then also you can just give this answer. But here we should not use our own knowledge, we should try to find out. So I am just guessing out and almost, yeah, not guessing out, I have given you the location. For the same yield, water is needed here only in this no soil free, we need less 90% less water than classical intensive. It means same yield can be grown on above or below ground. Some of the equipment used in aeroponic farming can be made by hand. Okay, some of the equipment used in this farming can be made by hand. If it is made by hand, then true. If it is not made by hand, then false. And if they are not talking about equipment, whether it was made by hand or any other thing, then not given. Made by hand. Okay, so this paragraph is done. Let's read it. Another, agriculture is booming. Inner city strawberries are being grown in disguise shipping, mushroom, car parks, aeroponic farming. He says virtuous. The equipment weighs little, can be installed in almost any flat surface and is cheap to buy, roughly per square meter. But it is not. Okay, let's read this also. Cheap to run, consuming a tiny fraction of the electricity used by some technique. Okay, equipment we were looking for, but they are not talking whether this equipment in this farming can be made by hand or not. So it means not given. Okay, not given is this. 10th, urban farming relies less on more electricity. So we know this location, so more electricity than any other types of farming. Okay, so electricity they were talking in this same paragraph. It is cheap to run, to consuming a tiny fraction of the electricity used by some techniques. Okay, so here they are saying more relies more on electricity, so it is contradiction there. They are saying tiny fraction of electricity consuming, it means this is false. Okay, 11th, fruits and vegetables grown on an aeroponic urban farm are cheaper than traditionally grown organic produce. Okay, cheaper. Grown, how these fruits and vegetables grown on this or aeroponic are cheaper than traditionally grown If it is cheaper, then true. If it is costlier, then false. And if they are not talking about their growing cost and all, then not given. So in the last paragraph, produce grown this way means aeroponic, sells at prices while generally higher than those of, it means whatever they are selling after growing in aeroponic, prices are higher than those of classical, means traditional agriculture, are lower, and the cost of grown, actually they were talking about this, but initially but inside the sentence they have put cost, so are lower than soil based organic growers. So it means what? You can see this here, they are saying cheaper than, it means this is true or false, please tell. Yeah, this is true again. Are cheaper than traditionally grown organic produce. So it is clearly given, you can see this. Lower means cheaper than soil based. Okay. So most produce can be grown on an aeroponic urban farm at any time of the year. This is important word. If these most produce can be grown on an aeroponic urban farm at any time of the year, then true. If they are talking some particular season or year, months, then it will be false. So here the last paragraph is left, we can see this. There are limits what farmers can grow this way. Of course, much of the produce means most of the produce is suited to the summer months. So opposite information is given. So it means what? This is false. So here they are saying at any time of the year, most produce. But there they were saying what? At only summer months. Now 13. Beans, important keyword, take longer to grow on an urban farm than other vegetables. So bean is taking longer time on urban farm than any other vegetable. So clearly it is given, you can see this. We have to read it. I am looking for bean. Beans is here. You can see this. Beans tend to take up a lot of space for not much return. Okay, beans, they are tend to lot of space for much return. Nevertheless, urban farming of the kind being practiced in Paris is one of the biggest and fast changing picture that is bringing food. So nothing they have given about taking longer time to grow. So only they are just talking about beans. You can see this, and beans tend to take up a lot of space for not much return. They are not talking about longer time or slower time to grow. So it is also not given. So this way we have number 2 is this, and definitely I will just do it very fast. So how managing low quality wood, also known as low use wood for bioenergy, can encourage sustainable forest management. Okay, now I am not going to read anything from here. Straight away I will go to the question types. So first we have which section contains the following information. Now next one we have match each statement with the correct timber cut, means they have given us statement and we have to match it with these words. It means when we will be reading the paragraph according to the question type, then we will just take care of these words. Okay. Third, we have complete the sentences below. Choose one word only. Fill in the blanks are there. So I will start with first type of question, that is which paragraph contains the following information. Now what is the strategy for following these questions? So first, definitely I will read every statement, every information, then I will go to the paragraphs. It's like list of heading, but in list of heading we need to find out the gist of the paragraph. But here it is the information, it is not a gist actually. So bad outcomes for a forest when people focus only on its financial rewards. So financial rewards means some amount will be there, some figures will be there relating to some American dollar or UK kind of money, or some like most probably in these readings we will find dollars only. Bad outcomes means some bad results. Okay, reference to the aspects of any tree, some factors about tree that contribute to its worth, its importance. Mention of the potential use, future kind of use of wood to help run vehicles, some cars, some trucks, some two-wheelers, some these kinds of things will be explained in any paragraph. Examples of insects that attack trees. Some insects about that maybe termites and all, some names will be there about those who are attacking trees. An alternative name, alternatives, another name for trees that produce low use wood. Okay, we have understood the meaning of these informations as well as the keywords we have selected. Now straight away I will just start reading this A paragraph. Okay, so we will go with a tree's, you can see this, you also do it with me. A tree's value. A tree's value means worth depends on several factors including species, size, form, condition, accessibility, and depends on the management of goals for a given forest. The same tree can be valued, again worth, very differently by each person who looks at it. A large straight back cherry has high value. So everything is just denoting towards the point here. Reference to the aspects of any tree that contribute to its worth. Worth means importance, its value. So I will be putting A for 15th number. Okay, now coming to this we have done, I will be doing it with that. Now coming to B paragraph. So here in this video I am going to tell you only with the help of keywords. You can easily find the answers. So in the highly, so I am looking for this bad outcomes, financial reward. So potential use, vehicles, insects, and alternative name for trees. Okay, so what we can select for that? Interested in value of their highly, the norm was to remove this practice high grading has left low use wood in the forest. Some people even call these junk trees, and they are abundant in. These trees have lower economic value for traditional timber, growth for higher value, shade desirable, leaving it more vulnerable to poor weather. Management can significantly target low use wood energy. So what they are talking? Solely interested in the value of their trees as high quality timber. Alternative name for trees that would produce low use wood. Okay, in the were solely interested in the value of high. So yes, definitely I can go alternative name for trees that produce low use wood. So this word was even, low use wood is already given. So call junk trees. So if you read it thoroughly also, solely interested in the value of their trees as high quality timber. The norm was to remove the stem of highest quality and leave behind poorly formed trees that were not as well suited to the site where they grow. High grading has left a legacy of low use wood in the forest. Okay, so definitely this will come with B. 18th is B. Now again, okay, C paragraph. You can see this C paragraph again. Now I am looking only for the words. Wood energy markets can access less expensive material, lower quality than wood suitable for traditional timber markets. Most wood used for energy is used to heat or electricity through combustion. Many schools and hospitals used boiler systems to heat and power their facility. Many homes are primarily heated with wood. Some coal plants incorporate wood and their coal steams to produce electricity. Woods can be gasified for electrical generation, can even be made into liquid fuels, gasoline for lorries and cars. Yes, vehicles, they are talking about vehicles. All these products are made primarily for several tree plant cutting approaches which could greatly improve the long term focus or only. So it means they are talking about how to use these things. Mention of potential use of wood to run help vehicles. So C will come with that. C. Okay, now 2 insects and the bad outcomes when focus on its financial reward. Okay, C paragraph we have done. Now coming to next D paragraph. Now coming to D paragraph. Yes, these words we need to just focus on these words, because for the next type of question we have to just find for these words. One such approach is timber improvement. In a TSI, cut really poor quality tree plant material is cut down to allow more space, light and other resources. Removing invasive plants might be another primarily goal of this. The stems that are left behind they grow in size, more foliage, larger crowns or tops that produce more coverage for wildlife. They have a better chance to regenerate in less crowded environment. TSI cuts can be tailored to one farmer's specific management goals for. I don't think so. Nothing is matching. You can see this. We are looking for bad outcomes when people focus only financial rewards and examples of insects. No, nothing is matching. Now E paragraph, another low use wood is salvage cut. This is also we are looking. With the many pests and pathogens visiting forest including hemlock, woolly, Asian beetle, ash borer and gypsy moth, to name just a few, it is important to remember that those working in the forest can help ease these issues through cutting procedures. So the first line was saying many pests, so no need to read further. So here examples of insects that attack trees. So definitely we will go with E paragraph. So one is left. So bad outcomes for a forest. 2 paragraphs are left. Let's read it. A shelter wood cut, this we were looking, which only takes place in a mature forest, has already been thinned several times, involves removing all mature trees. Seedlings have become established. This allows the foresters to decide which tree species are regenerated. It leaves a young forest where all trees are similar in their growth. It can also be used to develop a 2-tier forest so that there are 2 harvest and money that comes in spread out over a decade or more. No. Bad outcomes for a forest. Okay, no, this is not matching. So let's move on to the last paragraph, that is G. Thinning and dense and dead wood removal. Removal for fire prevention also center on the production of low woods. However, it is important to remember that some retention of what many would classify as low wood is very important. The tops of trees that have been cut down should be left on the side so that nutrients cycle back into the soil. In addition, trees with many cavities are extremely important habitats for insect predators like woodpeckers, bats. They help control. It is also important to remember that not all small trees are low use. For example, many species like hawthorn provide food for wildlife. Finally, rare species of trees in forest should stay behind structural diversity. Nothing is matching. So where is first answer? So that I couldn't find it, but let's move on to the next type of question because I will not waste time for this. So while doing another question, definitely we can get the answer for that. So next type of question we have, I will show it to you. So you have to do very fast, otherwise your train will not take you up to 60 minutes. So list of timber cuts, we know where is the location for these, and let's read all these. To remove trees that are diseased, so we know where it is in the insect they were talking about. To generate income across a number of years. Yes, it was given. To create a forest whose trees are close in age. Yes, I can just tell. Here, let's read first TSI cut. So really poor quality tree and plant material is cut down to allow more space, light and other resources. Removing invasive plants might be another primary goal of TSI. The stems that are left behind might then grow foliage and larger crowns or crops that produce more coverage for wildlife. They have a better chance to regenerate. Cut can be tailored to management goal. Trees that are diseased to generate more income across a number of years. No, they are not talking like that. Let's read this salvage also. So here they were talking about insects. Many pests and pathogens visiting forest including hemlock and these. To name just a few, it is important to remember those working in the forest can help ease with these issues through cutting procedures. To remove trees that are diseased, including, and these reduce the number of sick trees and seek to manage the future spread of a pest problem. They leave vigorous trees that have stayed healthy enough to survive the outbreak. Salvage tree. To remove trees that are diseased. So we will just put B for this. Okay. Now coming to this third one. shelter wood cut. So it is given over here, which only takes place in a mature forest that has already been thinned several times, involves removing all mature trees when seedlings have become established. This then allows the foresters to decide which trees are regenerated. It leaves a young forest where all trees are at a similar point in their growth. To create a forest whose trees are close in age, young forest, they are all means young, where all trees are at a similar point in their growth, means this will match. It can also be used to develop a two-tier forest so that there are two harvests and money that comes in is spread out over a decade or more. To generate income across a number of years, and same both the things are coming in C person. Shelter wood cut. So here these lines are saying two things: young forest where all trees are at a similar point in their growth, create a forest whose trees are close in gap, and to generate income across a number of years, they have given here to harvest, and the money that comes in is spread out over a decade or more. So means number of years. So this we have completed. Now coming to this question, some wood, one word we have to use, some dead wood is removed. So dead wood, we know it is removed to avoid the possibility of dead wood. Yes, they were talking dead wood here. Dead wood is here, you can see this. Dead wood is removed to avoid the possibility of removal for fire preventions, also center on the production of low use. So dead wood is removed to avoid the possibility of fire. 23rd number. The dash from the tops of cut trees can help improve soil quality. So definitely we will just read. However, it is important to remember that some retention of what would classify as low wood is very important. The tops of trees that have been cut down should be to the site of their nutrients, cycle back into the soil. Soil is here. The dash from the tops of cut is given. The tops of trees can help improve quality. The tops of trees that have been cut down should be left to the side so that their nutrients cycle back into the soil. So nutrients will come here. Okay, now 24th. Some damaged trees should be left, okay, as their dash provide habitat for a range of creatures. So it is given, habitat is given. Yes, this you can read it. Provide habitat for range of, okay. So after this, in addition, trees with many cavities are extremely important habitats for insects, predators like woodcutters, bats. Some damaged trees should be left as their dash provide habitats for what their addition. Trees with many cavities are extremely important, provide habitat. So habitat is there, it means this will come as their cavities. As their cavities provide habitats for a range of creatures. So next 25th is some trees that are small such as dash are a source of food for animals and insects. Okay, insects, they help control problem insects and increase the health and resilience of the forest. It is also important. Low use, for example, many species, some trees that are small such as are a source of food for animal and insects. For a species, hawthorn provide food for wildlife. So hawthorn provide food means such as hawthorn are a source of food. We can write hawthorn. Okay. Now 26 number. Any trees that should be left to grow as they add to the variety of species in the forest. Of course, this last line is left. Finally, rare species of trees in a forest should also stay behind as they add to the structural diversity. So what should be the answer? Any trees that should be left to grow. Finally, rare species of tree means rare species we can't write. Any trees that are rare should be left to grow as they should stay as their structural diversity. Species in the forest, variety of species in the forest, structural diversity. So rare will come here. Now we have left one question. I will show you. Now I need to find bad outcomes for a forest when people focus on its financial reward. Definitely, if you are definitely you can leave it, or you can just devote 1 more minute to find. So bad outcome, financial reward. So there are no financial reward kind of thing. I couldn't find any. I couldn't find any dollars and all. So here it was not. So here this paragraph I did not read it properly, so let's read it. The trees have lower economic value for traditional timber markets compete for growth with higher value trees. Shade are desirable. So money, financial reward. So economic value for traditional timber markets compete for growth with higher value trees. Shade out desirable. Degeneration decrease the health of a stand, leaving it more vulnerable to poor management that specifically targets low cost. Landowners manage these forests. Health issue and wood energy markets help promote this. But economic value is given, but I am not sure about this question. Bad outcomes for a forest when people focus only on financial rewards. So where bad outcomes? So let's read it again. Poorly formed trees were not value of their trees has a legacy of low site where they could practice. High grading has left a legacy of low. Some people even call these junk trees, and they are abundant in. These trees have lower economic value for traditional timber markets compete for growth with higher value, leaving it more vulnerable to poor management and specific targets. Wood energy markets can accept less. So let's not waste time, otherwise I will run out for my passage 3. Okay, so I am leaving it in the answer. In the description I will give the answer for this. Okay, so let's do this reading passage number 3. That title is Conquering Earth Space Junk Problem. Okay, so let's read it. Satellites, rocket shards and collision debris are creating major traffic risks in orbit around the planet. Researchers are working to reduce these threats. Okay, now as you can see, there are paragraphs, small paragraphs. They have numbered over A, B, C. Let's look at the question statement. So you can see first type of question we have, which section contains the following information. Second, complete the summary. And third, we have look at the following statement and the list of people. So you first look at the list of people. So I will be doing it in different style. Just have a look. Caroline Farrow, these persons name are there. First I will do when you will be reading it paragraph wise for the first type of question, then side by side please underline these persons name. Okay, otherwise it will be a problem for you. So easily I can see this person's name here, so I am doing underline. So whenever you are doing underline or circling the things, it is important to just make distinguishing between your marks on the reading, otherwise everything will be same at the end. Okay, let's start with first type of question. First we have, which section contains the following information. I will be reading all the information first and just try to understand its meaning definitely, and then I will just find out one keyword, a reference to the cooperation that takes place to try and minimize risk. Okay, this is better. Cooperation that takes place to try and minimize risk. Cooperation. An explanation of a person's aim, any person's aim, any writer's aim. A description of a major collision that occurred in space. Okay, description. A comparison between tracking objects in space and the efficiency of a transportation. Some comparison may be there. A reference to efforts to classify types of space junk. Classify means classification of space junk. Okay, I will start doing reading. First A passage. Okay, you also do it with me. So clearly I am showing full paragraph. You can see this. So last year commercial companies, military and departments emitted 400 satellites into orbit. So you have to read like that. You should not read like that, over 4 times the yearly average. No, read it fast. Over 4 times the yearly average in previous numbers could rise even more sharply if leading space companies follow hundreds to thousands of large constellation next few years. Okay, nothing is given. All that traffic can lead to disaster. 10 years ago, oh my god, some description of any story. A US commercial iridium satellite smashed into inactive Russian satellite. Thousands of new pieces of space okay, satellites in the zone stretching 2000 kilometer in so definitely they are talking about event, description of an event, description of a major collision that occurred in space. So it is given, you can see this disaster, and 10 years ago satellite smashed into an inactive Russian communication satellite. This is collision. Okay, so I will just put this A. For 29th it is A. Okay, now coming to B paragraph. So if you just get the location, just get the idea, just straight away go to the question information, then try to match it. A concern about space junk beginning of the satellite era, but the number of objects is rising so rapidly. Researchers are investigating new ways of attacking the problem. Several teams are trying to improve methods. So try to read the main important things. Attacking the problem, several teams are trying to improve methods for focusing what is in orbit. Satellite operators can work more efficiently in more even crowded space. Some researchers are now starting to compile a massive data say includes the best possible information where the everything is. Others are developing space debris. Okay, there's several teams are trying to improve methods for assessing what is in orbit. Okay, satellite operators can even more crowded. Okay, some researchers compile massive data possible where everything is in. Okay, developing space debris so that satellite operators know how much to worry about coming with. The alternative, many says, is unthinkable. Just a few uncontrolled space crashes could generate enough debris to set off. So what they concern about space junk goes back to the beginning of the satellite era, but the number of objects is rising so rapidly. The researchers are investigating new ways of attacking the problem. Several teams are trying to improve methods for assessing work. Some other teams are working, some researchers are now, so they are just talking about different kind of debris. So you can just match properties such as shape, satellite operators know. So okay, cooperation. So cooperation, are they talking about cooperation and minimize? No cooperation is not there. Yeah, a reference to efforts to classify space junk. Space junk, yes, in space they were talking about number of what is in satellite operators can work efficiently data. So yes, I will just go with that B1. It is B. Now coming to C paragraph. Even as our ability to monitor space objects increases, so too does the total number of items in orbit. That means companies, governments and other players in space are collaborating in new ways to avoid a shared threat. International groups such as Interagency Space Committee have developed guidelines on space sustainability. I think they are talking about, these includes inactivating satellites at the end of their useful life by venting. I think they are talking about cooperation that takes place to try and minimize risk. Cooperation is there. Cooperation that takes place try to minimize risk. Yeah, so directly companies, governments and other players in space are collaborating in many ways to avoid a shared threat. So definitely C will be the answer for 27 number. Now coming to D paragraph. C is here also, you can just read it. This person name I can see here. Okay, so yeah, when it will come we will read this paragraph, leftover paragraph. Now D. In theory, given the vastness of space, satellite operators should have plenty of room for all these missions to fly safely without ever nearing another object. So some scientists are tackling the problem of space junk by trying all debris is to a high degree of precision that would alleviate the need for many unnecessary that are carried out to avoid potential collisions. If you know, so another person name is there, everything was, you would almost never have a problem. Okay, no, I don't think so, nothing is matching, only we need to find personal name. And this also, comparison between transportation system and space. Now coming to E paragraph. The field is called space traffic management. Yeah, traffic they are talking in one information. It is similar to managing traffic on the roads in the air. So this is the same thing. Just think about a busy day at the airport. Says this person is again line up in the sky, landing and taking carefully choreographed routine. Air traffic controllers know the location of the planes down to 1 meter in accuracy. The same can't be said for space debris. So comparison between tracking objects in space and the efficiency, so that will come with E paragraph. This is also gone. Now we have left only 28 and we have left one paragraph. You can see this F paragraph. An additional problem is that there is no authoritative catalog that accurately lists the orbit space debris. Jha, person name. Illustrate this with a web database has developed. It draws on several sources such as catalogs maintained by US, Russian governments to visualize. When he types in an identifier or for a particular space, the database draws a purple line. Only this doesn't quite work for a number. Number is also given. When Jha enters that number, the database draws two purple lines, US and Russian sources. Okay, Jha says it is almost impossible to tell which is correct unless a third source of information made it possible to cross correlate. So this is also useful for another type of question. Jha describes himself as a space environmentalist. I want to make space a place that is safe to operate, that is free and useful for generation to come. Means future. So here explanation of a person's aim. So this is his aim. You can see this. I want to make space a place that is safe to operate. This is his aim. For this, F last paragraph will come. That is F paragraph. Okay, now we have completed this. Which section contains the following information? Now coming to fill in the blanks. Complete the summary below. So Interspace Debris Coordination Committee, that we know. In C paragraph they were talking about. I will just show it to you. So you can see this C paragraph. The committee gives advice on how the dash of space can be achieved. The committee have developed guidelines on space sustainability. Space sustainability. Advice on how the dash of space can be achieved. How the dash avoid a shared threat. The international groups such as agencies committee have developed guidelines on space. Space is there. Sustainability of this we can write. Sustainability, it is clear. Sustainability of space. Space sustainability, you can write it. Same spelling you should write it. You should copy it from the question statement. Okay, next, the committee advises that when satellites are no longer active, any unused dash or pressurized material that could code should be removed. Okay, those include inactivating satellites. Means satellites are no longer active at the end of their useful life by venting pressurized material. Pressurized material is also there, or is also there. So unused means leftover fuel. So here fuel will come. Okay, now coming to 34th, and we will shift to next page. Here 34th number, that should be removed. That could lead to explosions. Yes, that could lead to explosions. So explosion we can write here. That is these lines we are writing in essay. That could cause or that could lead to any result, that we are using this line structure in not explosions. I am not talking about explosions. Lead to. Okay, next 35th is, although operators of large satellite constellation accept that they have obligation as stewards of space, this person points out that operators that become are unlikely to prioritize. Okay, here here in this same paragraph, the obligation stewards. Okay, points out that operators that become operators planned constellations of this is given constellation say that will be responsible stewards in their enterprises in space, but Craig worries that problems could increase that become despite their best intentions. So that become are unlikely to prioritize removing their satellites from space. Let's read it. Constellation of satellites say that that will be responsible stewards in their enterprise in space, but Craig worries that problems could increase despite their best intentions. What happens to those that fail or bankrupt? They are probably not going to spend money to remove their satellite. This is the sentence. Remove it, unlikely to remove. This is the sentence. Probably not going to spend money to remove satellites. So that become, what happens to those? So can we go for bankrupt or fail? That become fail. No, that become bankrupt. We can write here bankrupt. Okay, bankrupt. So now coming to next question. Now last type of question we have 32 to 36 to 40 number question, and as we know list of people we have to find, but before that I will try to read all the options. Knowing and NB is also given, means you may use any letter more than once, means any person's name you can name, not name their alphabets in front of name, we can use it twice in front of these. Knowing the exact location of space junk would help prevent any possible danger. Okay. Yeah, space should be available to everyone and should be preserved for the future. That future kind of thing, we know the last paragraph was saying something. A recommendation regarding satellites is widely ignored. A recommendation satellite is widely ignored. There is conflicting information about where some satellites are in space. Okay, information is not correct. There is a risk that we will not be able to undo the damage that occurs in space. Okay, so let's go one by one, but this location I know where it is. So let's go to the last paragraph. So in the last paragraph, as you can see, F paragraph I am doing it, and here in the last line this person was saying, Jha himself as a space environmentalist, I want to make space a place that is safe to operate, that is free and useful for generations to come. Until that happens, he argues, the space community will continue developing into tragedy in which all space flights operators are polluting a common resource. So no, so that is safe to operate, that is free and useful for future generations to come. We can match it. And here once another thing that he is saying, because in this paragraph wherever he is saying he studies, he illustrates, and he describes those things, we have to read only for this. Let's read it. Jha illustrates with this a web-based database that he has developed. It draws on several sources such as catalogs and government to visualize where objects are in space. When he types in for a particular space object, the database draws a purple line. Only this doesn't quite work for a number of objects. Russian rocket body designated in the database as object. When Jha enters that number, the database draws two purple lines. US and Russian contains two completely different orbits for the same. Jha says again, it is almost impossible to tell which is correct unless a third source of information made it possible to cross correlate. So this is also matching and this is also matching. You can see this. I want to make space a place that is safe to operate, that is free and useful for future generation. So you can say space should be available for everyone and should be preserved for future, means we will match it with the Moriba Jha. Okay, another this thing is, he is also saying conflicting information about where some satellites are in space. So for that purpose, impossible to tell, conflicting information, unless a third source of information, it is almost impossible to tell which is correct, and to correlate. So if you read the full story here, you will come to know that it is exactly matching. I have read it in front of you only. So for now being, I will just match it D. Otherwise, if I got this information here with someone, I can change it. So D and 37 and 39 is gone. Let's find this person name. This was in first page. So this person name is here. If we go on like this, we will reach a point of no return. So he is saying is this: just a few uncontrolled space crashes could generate enough debris to set off a runway cascade of fragments. If we go on like this, we will reach a point of no return, says this person. And can we match anything with this? Knowing the exact location of space junk would prevent any possible danger. Space, note that we have done. Recommendation regarding satellite is widely used. This is also not matching. This we have done. Conflicting information, he is not talking. There is a risk we will not be able to undo the damage that occurs in space. If we go on like this, we will reach a point of no return. Undo the damage that occurs in space, so that we can match it with a person. Now this we have done, this we have done. Let's find these two persons. Okay, and yeah, let's move on to next page. So Holder Craig is saying what? Head of the European, so this is unnecessary information where he is working and all. Operators of planned constellation satellites said they will be responsible stewards in the enterprise. But Craig worries that problems could increase despite their best intention. What happens to those that fail or bankrupt? They are probably not going to spend money to remove their satellite from space. Is this any matching? Exact location would help prevent any possible danger. Nothing is given. Regarding recommendation regarding satellite is widely ignored. Not going to spend money to their satellite. Okay. So till now I am not understanding this. Let's not waste time for another person. Let's go to third person. Then I will come back again. Sorge, Marlon Sorge. So this person is here. Let's read it. Fly. If you know precisely where everything was, you would almost never have a problem. Yeah. Knowing the exact location of space junk would help prevent any possible danger. So I will go with that C. So this is clearly given. You can see this. If you know precisely where everything was, you would almost never have a problem. Okay, this is the thing. And definitely my time is going up. So I will just put this B with that. So in this way we have completed this.